Hello, furniture people. I'm Joe and I like refinishing old furniture. Somehow I decided it would be a good idea to film that and share it, so here we are turning grit into gold. This is an Art Deco makeup table, also very often referred to as a waterfall table or dresser, from approximately 1920s, 1930s. So it's about 100, maybe pushing 100 years old, and in pretty rough shape, as you can see. Eddie's got his doubts. I've never worked with veneer like this before, but Lacey, on the other hand, she's very excited for the prospects on this. You can see there's a fair amount of damage on it, old water damage, and with time, the veneer is so thin, it's just is never going to be particularly durable. As a piece weathers, as humidity in the air, the glue after time lets loose the wood flakes and stuff like that, so it tends to peel off pretty easily. I started simply, as you can see, with just a big scraper there, and then eventually I went over to a smaller scraper, and I'm using a heat gun here. And one of the things I didn't show is I did run a lead-based paint test on this, just as I do on all my pieces. I don't want to ingest lead myself, nor do I want my family or my pets exposed to it. The lead-based paint test is about $5, $6 for one of them. It takes a few minutes. Results are instant, so it's well worth, the protection is well worth the little investment. And along the edges here, the heat gun worked very nicely with this razor blade, and I found as I was doing it that I didn't need the razor blade to be sharp as it came out of the box. I actually rubbed it on the concrete floor to dull the blade a little bit. If it was too sharp, it was digging into the wood substrate and making little gouge marks that I just have to fix when I put the new veneer on. As always, if you're finding value in this video, please like and subscribe. Doing that allows me to continue sharing interesting projects with you, just like this waterfall table. And in the vein of veneer, I have probably also in 1920s, 1930s, maybe 40s, a radio, a big cabinet radio, just like you imagine, with veneer damage that I plan on working on in the coming months sometime. As I'm prioritizing projects, I will get to that one. It's probably 3 or 4 down the line right now, but waterfall furniture like this is just so pretty. The veneers on the front of the drawers in this case, and crisscrossing patterns, everything is just beautiful. And in spite of the length of this section, this didn't take too long to bring these two sides down. And then I began working on the drawers in the middle piece. And on the drawers, the veneer was actually, generally speaking, in very good shape. So rather than peel it all off and put new veneer on. I just love this. This drawer is a great example of it, of the two angles coming together on the left-hand side, and sort of the tiger stripes. And this one's just the opposite. And I used some mineral spirits to clean things up, get any waxes and stuff off. I wasn't too worried about the marks left behind where the handles were. You'll see in a bit that I was able to reuse the same handles after some work. This center part had, you can see some marks there, some circles from a glass or something. And I went back and forth about what to do with it. And I eventually decided that I liked it enough, and it was just on the edge of what was salvageable. So I decided to sand it down, restain it, and then polyurethane it. And at the end of this project, the top of this desk, the surfaces, both had, if I remember right, 6 coats of polyurethane, and it really glows. And here on the sides, on the wings, you can see now that I have all the old veneer off, and the veneer is so thin, you have to have the surface that it's on very flat. Anything that you put on top of it will just conform. Any veneer you put on top of it will conform to the surface underneath. The sides were pretty straightforward to work with here. Put down some towels on the floor to protect the other side of it, and then light grit sandpaper, and took this all down, and you can see whatever finish was on there came right up, that dust that's there. And then I restained it and polyurethaned it, and both sides of the desk turned out beautifully. The veneer that I chose was a longer roll product. I picked a lighter color, as you can see here, so I could play around with some stains. And the way it was rolled was the opposite direction of how it needed to lay on the waterfall table eventually. And I probably wouldn't choose this product again unless it was going to be a perfectly flat table. I had some struggles with it. We'll see in a little bit. And I made my way through it. But it was a little bit of a problem. And here I have several stains marked veneer samples just to see how it would take it, how well it's going to match up with the drawer fronts and the sides of the dresser and everything else. That 2 that I just flashed is my second attempt at this. Tossed the first piece of veneer. Now you can see the struggle that I had with it. It's very evident here. It's sort of popping off back and forth. Going up on that corner. It doesn't want to stick. Part of the drawer front fell off. I reattached that later. And a little bit frustrating here at this point. So I changed my approach. Just Started out on the back, it was flat, and got it straight inside the frame of the dresser there. And then you can see here, it actually went down fairly easily. And then this is a roller that's specifically used to press veneer into place. I guess you could use a dowel or a small rolling pin or whatever you had to get it to stick. It's worked fine though. And here, I actually used nail polish to touch up the holes for the drawers. I really love the purple color and the brass, and just gorgeous, and it fit just perfectly with the piece in general. So touch up work on that. The inside of this drawer was in such bad shape, just decided to go get some 1/16 inch wood, use a bunch of glue inside the dresser, inside the drawer here. Cut the pieces. There we go. Brand new drawer bottom. This is how the top turned out. Stained it once, brought down the color some, then I decided to add some more stain, bring it closer to some of what the rest of the piece looked like, and eventually ended up with a color that I was happy enough with, and it worked. Now it's time for the polyurethane. And as always, polyurethane, when you first put it on, has kind of a bit of a purplish hue to it, but it dries relatively quickly. Very easy to work with, and it's a great protectant for any kind of wood. And I find the more coats that I put on, you just get such a pretty finish. Lacey is very happy with the result here. And what I've done, I didn't show too much of it, but you can see a computer on top of it, and there's also a computer monitor attached up and back. And this is now a computer desk for my lovely daughter. Very pleased with the overall result. Stay safe and be healthy, everyone.